Hello, nice to see you again. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Allie and today I have a very special guest, my cousin Gigi.
Hello.
And today we're starting a new series called Ghost and Glamour, in which we do our makeup and we tell some of our paranormal stories that have happened to us throughout our lifetime. I hope you enjoy and let's get started.
One thing that you guys have to know is our whole family are like magnets to like ghosts and like weird spiritual phenomenon.
Yes.
Don't know what it is. It's all the way back to like our grandmas, our great grandma. I don't know if you believe in that stuff. You'll definitely, like, if you're around us, more weird stuff happens.
Yeah. Or if you're somebody, you know, that has ever had like a paranormal experience in your life, then you're totally going to relate to this.
Yes.
But I am going to let Gigi start off, you know, this series with her story, and then I'll share my story. So take it away, Gigi.
Okay. I have a lot of ghost stories surrounding one specific house that me and my family have lived in, and I'll go ahead and say it was in California, but I won't give specifics. It's definitely one of the most like traumatic experiences like of me and half of my sisters and mom's lives.
Oh my God.
I won't tell the scariest one tonight, but I'll tell you, like, it's basically, the story I'm going to tell you is just kind of the phenomenon that led up to like the last event. So this house, we had just moved from Michigan to California, and it was like a super nice house. It was big enough for all of us. We were really excited to just like, you know, get to this new start. My parents were really excited to move back to California, be closer to our families and everything like that. And so we just, weird stuff starts happening in this house right off the bat. And one of the weirdest things I would have to say is we would get up in the morning, like at night you'd hear a bunch of, you know, banging, and you know, it's an older house, so you're just like, you know what, it must just be, you know, creakiness or just like the wind, you know, all the logical stuff people go ahead and say. And
Did
then
you sleep?
I did not sleep well. I had to be in like 3rd grade when all of this was happening, so I was quite young, and so, you know, everybody's like, oh, it's your imagination, you know, you're just a scaredy cat. And I was a scaredy cat, I will give them that. I'm still a scaredy cat. I'm scared of everything, but it's because this thing's happened to us, so that is why I'm a scaredy cat. And so one of the crazy thing, so we'll get up in the morning and all of our cabinets will be open.
Oh my God.
And you know, the first half my mom would just, you know, yell at us because I'm the middle child of 6 kids, so like literally somebody must have left the cabinets open. Who's leaving all the cabinets open? She's like, who's out here trying to be like rebellious because we moved you to California or whatever. And so she just like at first she was just straight up like, you kids are wild, you guys are crazy. And then even the creepier stuff starts to happen. Like we get really bad, like a rat infestation, like that wouldn't go away. You know, really weird smells, rocking. Like me and my sister shared a bunk bed, and there would literally be rocking. Like it would rock all the time, and I would just like sit there and basically like be frightened to death.
Oh.
So this is the scariest thing to have ever happened to me, and I literally was laying in the bottom bunk, and it had to be like pretty close to when we had first moved in. So obviously, you know, we're unsettled, some stuff's not completely like unpacked and stuff, and I'm sitting in the bunk bed, I'm about to go to bed, and I just see the scariest like black shadow thing right next to the closet. And I'm just like paralyzed in fear. I can't move. And I just start screaming for my mother. Literally just like screaming. And she tells me to this day, like I was inconsolable. I was in like hysterics. Like I was literally like, we have to leave. We have to leave. We have to go. We're like, it's literally the first scene in all the scary movies where like
yeah, I bet.
The little kid is like, oh my God, I see dead people, or like they're coming. That was that. And I was like, we have to leave, we have to go, we have to go. And my mom's like, don't, no, it's okay, it's okay. You know, this is all your stuff. We brought all your stuff here from Michigan. This is gonna be a good new start. And I'm just crying hysterical and I don't even remember falling asleep. my mom's like, oh yeah, and then, you know, I just like held you and then you just fell asleep. And that was like, that was it. That was literally it. And then for the rest of our time there, it was just worse and worse and worse. But for most of that time there, I would climb up to my younger sister's bunk and sleep with her because it was that creepy and weird and just straight up haunted of a house.
Oh my God.
And I think the worst part is there's no real like ending to it. We just moved. And, people wonder because like you're like, why don't they just move? Well, we did. We just moved. That's how bad it got. Like, and it took a while because, you know, it's people don't realize how expensive it is to just like move, especially when
you really can't just pick up and go.
Yeah, you've picked up all of your stuff, like already moved cross country. You don't have a lot of like finances to do that again. Yeah. But as soon as my dad had the money, we got the heck out of that house. So that tells you. That really does tell you.
Oh my goodness gracious. That is craziness. Yeah. I'm sure you have many, many more stories about that. And we will fill you in on that.
It gets worse.
It gets worse. But, all right. So, I'm going to go ahead and start my story. I have a bunch. But anyways, this, I used to go back and forth between Mexico and California. And around this time, we had a house in Mexico, and I must have been probably like 8 or 10 years old. And my dad had given me a bracelet for Christmas, and it was like a gold bracelet. He gave me and my cousin the same bracelet, and it had our names on it. And you know, obviously as a little kid, you're not good with, you know, taking care of things, especially things that are of value. So, my mom took it away and, you know, she put it somewhere safe. Well, I was asking her for the bracelet and stuff. And, you know, when I asked her, she told me that she had no idea where she had, placed it. And I really wanted to wear my bracelet. So I remember saying out loud in the house that we lived, saying, all right, whoever took my bracelet, make sure you return it. And in the house that we lived in, we had 3 bedrooms. And it was kind of like a rectangular home where as you entered, there was the kitchen to the left, first bedroom to the right, and then the bedroom just continued all on the right side, and then past the kitchen there was like the living room, and then at the end there was a bathroom. So then needless to say, after saying that, you know, where's my bracelet, I totally forgot about it. And then, you know, one day we're just standing in the kitchen, just me and my mom, and you know, she's cooking or whatever, and then all of a sudden that door in that first room opens all by itself, and I'm standing like in the kitchen, you know, by the door watching this happen. Oh, no. And next thing I do is obviously I go in there to see why it opened, and we had this like dresser, and it was a pretty big dresser inside the room, and I started walking towards the dresser. And as I'm walking towards the dresser, I notice that, like, you know, in the very corner of it, there was the bracelet sitting, like right on top of it. Oh, and I grabbed it and I took it to my mom and I'm like, did you put this bracelet there? And she's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So I just was quiet and silent and in shock there because I don't even know how this got there, how it happened, but whatever it was heard me the day I said, where is my bracelet? And there's many more stories that I can tell you in that house. It's just crazy. It's crazy insane.
I think that's the funny thing about ghosts too, because I'm a firm believer in ghosts.
Oh yeah,
110%. They are out there.
How can you not be after having like
so many experiences?
Yeah, so many experiences.
If you meet people who like don't believe in ghosts, their main go-to first is, well, I've never really seen anything.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you this right now. My dad did not believe in ghosts or like those like phenomenons until he started like dating and married my mom, because of this stuff just happens so wildly and so like constantly to our family. It's like wild. And so like literally I'm like thinking about all this crazy stuff that happens with ghosts, and I'll have like really weird dreams. Like I'll have like super weird dreams, like if I'm watching too many like scary movies, or because I love like true crime too.
Yeah.
So if I watch too many true crime videos or something like that, and then it's like I get like these really wild dreams, and people are like, well, just stop watching it. I was like, no, I enjoy it.
Well, I mean, it just, ever since I've had my experiences too, I just find myself so like attracted to the paranormal, you know, anything paranormal. I love watching like all the paranormal shows, you know, like the videos, you know, that people post about things that have happened to them, because it's, you can totally relate. You're like, oh my God, I've been in their shoes. I know how they feel.
Yeah.
And I mean, the good thing about nowadays is, you know, you can capture so much more with the equipment that's available to you. It's just insane.
It's wild.
Yeah.
And it's also like really interesting too to see like how I don't know if like ghosts are getting more bold, or if like you said, it's just the increase in technological advancement.
Yeah.
And like now we're just like catching them more often, because like literally like half the time you see like videos of like orbs and stuff, and you're just like, oh, you know, that could be a fleck of dust. And now we have like, there's literally, if you guys like go on like any kind of site or something like that, they'll have like full apparitions that people are like, oh, that's Photoshop, da 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 da. And I'm like, I've worked in Photoshop. That's
very hard to recreate.
That's a lot of time and effort just to scare someone.
Totally.
But like, you know, you never know. Some people are crazy.
I don't know. I guess I would agree with you that I think ghosts are somewhat getting bolder too. Yeah, for sure. Because people, you know, are kind of starting not to be as fearful and scared of them. Yeah. You know, so I sometimes feel like, hey, I gotta take it up a notch, you know?
Yeah, I feel like I gotta scare someone.
Yeah, I really gotta knock their socks off in order to scare them, because I mean, I don't know. I've met, you know, some people that are like, oh yeah, you know, I really want to have an experience, you know, and then when they do, it's like they laugh at it, like, no, this was just silly, you know, whatever. And I'm sure.
I will say it's like both like scary, but also like it's kind of like it's like a double-edged sword, because like then you also have like that feeling when like, you know, you're like your ancestors or your family members who have passed on are like around. Like me and Allie both talk about, you know, feeling, you know, the people we love who have passed.
Yeah, definitely.
In really weird ways. Like I remember saying like one day I went into like an Indian food restaurant, and we had a very close friend that was like a grandma to me pass away, and it was an Indian food restaurant I had never been in before, and I walked in there and it smelled exactly like her house. Like everybody knows, you know, the people have a scent to them that you really can't really even like bottle up or describe, and that is how this place smelled. And it smelled that way until they brought our food, and it was really close to her birthday, and so I was like, it has to be her. Like there's no way. Like it's Indian food, for Pete's sake. It is not like something that can easily be like drifted away in the scent. And so it's like, I was like, oh my gosh, like she is here. Somebody is like, she is coming to check up on me. And I think that's what also really interests me about the whole thing, is just like what happens to us like after everything's said and done.
Totally. I mean, it's like you're constantly hearing these experiences of, you know, people who have died for like a few seconds, and they're like, oh yeah, I was watching you guys do everything you needed to do to, you know, bring me back to life. So I mean, it's hard it's hard to say, okay, no, I don't believe, you know, when you
You've been through so
when they
much.
scare the bejesus out of you.
Well, yeah, because like it's also like the biggest fear you'll ever have. I think Allie said this. It's like it's literally like, how do you fight something you don't see? It's like every
Yes.
scary movie you ever watch. You're like, yeah, I don't know how to deal with this, and so it's really hard, and it's creepy, and especially when you're a kid, you don't want that. You don't want that mess around you or anything, and so you just kind of like. That's why I legitimately. And I think it's because I believe it so much. I can't watch like scary ghost movies like at night alone.
Yeah.
Like I cannot do it. I can only watch ghost movies with other people because it's just like too much, you know.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And it's so oh God. And it's so funny to like explain to people that because you love it. I love a good ghost like story movie. Like Conjuring, most accurate ghost movies I've ever watched is that entire series.
Totally,
it's
totally.
so well done, and I know it's like based off true events, which you know, movies you never know what's really true or what's not.
I know. I really like that they based it off of all the files, you know, that they had accumulated throughout their lifetime. I mean, you know, the Nun, and the Annabelle story. Oh my goodness!
Wild.
I mean, knocked my socks off for sure.
I think that's the crazy thing too. I think when you have like experiences with ghosts, it makes you way more critical of scary movies.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, that would never happen.
They're like, nope, that is not something that
they would not do that.
No. I totally agree with you.
I also really loved those like all the National Geographic shows that were like Ghost Hunters and everything like that.
Oh yeah, those are really good too.
Yeah. I would say though they are bold. I would never antagonize a ghost.
Oh
like,
no,
ever. You couldn't pay me to antagonize a ghost. That's just asking for like bad juju for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It is unfortunate. And I think it's really interesting too, like how much more like we learn about like ourselves when you're in those situations, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Somebody's like, you know, well, especially with like if you have like a really aggressive person, they're just like, you know, I'm just gonna fight to the death. This is my house. This is this blah, blah, blah. You're just like, sure, Jan.
Yeah, okay. You know, go ahead and fight
with that.
Go ahead and fight what you can't see.
Get your rosary, and then we'll talk.
That's the thing though, that it's just not about, you know, I don't want to bring in the religious aspect into this, but it just, that's sometimes not enough anymore. You know, I mean, it's like nowadays you have mediums, you have, you know, like Reiki masters, you have people that, I mean, there's so much more out there that we just don't understand.
I would say too, it's wild because it's like I'm not a super religious person like at all. I'm definitely, which is funny because like I believe in ghosts and I believe in the other side and I believe in all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it definitely comes down to the core belief that I know that energy and all that stuff cannot be like destroyed or created. Like, and so it's like it's definitely like I'm like it goes somewhere. And why is that somewhere not like a different plane? That like I don't know. It's just it's so wild because you know there's all this like studies, you know, and all these people like looking into it.
Well, they do studies. I know there's this one show, oh, I can't remember what it's called, but they actually did something on like the afterlife. And you know, he kind of put himself through some test, and he even like talked to experts about it. You know, is it possible, you know, for like these things to happen? And you know, it's really hard for them to come to a conclusion and you know, to explain what everyone has experienced.
That's so true.
It is.
Especially when everybody experiences things very differently.
Oh yeah.
Even if you do have a gift, like I said, I'm a very like sensory person, but I'm all like I feel like I'm just really more intuitive to sense.
Yes.
Like, and it's weird. Like I could like that smell of like bad vibes or like things rotting.
Or like energy.
Yeah, like energy, like literally like, sniffing out people's energy.
Yeah.
And I think one of the most like vivid experiences that happened to me was when I literally went to like an antique shop, and we were going through an antique shop and stuff like that, and I was looking through stuff, and I like, I really like, old jewelry, old clothes, all that stuff. And so my friend had handed me like an old bracelet, and as soon as like I had it in my hand, I smelled like rotting, like food or something, just like the most disgusting smell ever. And I got so sick to my stomach, and I just like dropped it down, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna have to leave now. Like I can't, I don't know what's there, because it's just like so much stuff is attached to objects and like what was important in people's lives.
Oh, and that's like, that is so true. I mean, I what is it? I have been to some antique stores, and it gives me the creeps every time I'm in there. I don't know what it is. I kind of, there's been like a couple times where I've gone to the antique store and I feel like I'm being watched. Yeah. It's just this feeling of something following me throughout the whole store.
And it's just like,
they have like, all these things have like special smells.
Yeah.
And it's happened to me before too, where like I smell something and it just makes me so nauseous. It's just like, ooh.
Yeah. Full disclaimer.
Yeah.
We weren't pregnant. So there's that. There's not that. That was not it.
Yes, that was not it. That was not it for sure. No. We just went in, and then like you always hear about jewelry, and I mean they have beautiful pieces, but it's like I don't want to take anything home with me.
That's something me and Allie always talk about. We always want to go to like real haunted houses or like ghost tours and stuff like that, but we do not want to bring anything home with us. Like, and literally I've been that person who like, if a door opens in my home, like just swings open, or especially the front door, I literally just shout like, get out, like you don't belong here. Yeah. Like I'm like, no, we're not playing that game.
Well, you never know what wants to come with you.
Yeah. I mean, it feeds off your energy.
Oh, totally. Totally.
So if you're having a bad day, don't go to a ghost house. Just like confirm, no ghosties for you.
No, I know like they do sometimes like these haunted tours, where people can go and experience what paranormal investigators do. And I mean, I think it's a really neat concept, and it would be a really good experience. But yeah, you definitely have to be very brave.
Very brave. And just have like I don't know, I'm gonna sound all hippy dippy. I'm like, have a good psychic wall. Like,
I know.
Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how to
protect your energy.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but like, just don't go in there and being like, first of all, don't go in there and be like, none of this is real. They can't hurt me, because they're gonna find you. And also, don't go in there being like, oh, I want to help all the lost souls in the world, because that's not gonna happen.
No.
That's not how any of this works.
For sure. But what is like so you said The Conjuring is one of your favorites. What other movies do you like?
You see, I can only watch ghost and like thriller movies because I'm queasy. I wish I watched the first Saw. Great plot line. I love movies. I'm a big movie buff, so I love the plot line. It was amazing. It was really interesting. I loved it. Had to close my eyes through half the movie because it's like just pure torture, and I'm just like, gosh, I can't do it.
You peaked. For sure, you peaked.
Oh, 100% I peaked. Because it's like, it's a weird like disposition. It's not like you want to see people in pain, but you have to know what's happening. Yeah. Because especially in Saw, like the stuff that they go through, it's pertinent to why they were brought into the house. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like wild to even think about. But I don't know.
Some of my favorites, and I don't think any child my age should have been watching this movie, or it should have been their favorite movie to begin with.
Yeah.
The Exorcist.
Oh gosh, that's like
Classic.
Wild,
Love it.
wild classic. You see, one of my favorite, and it's not even a real scary movie. Let's be real. I love Carrie. Just because it's like, I love movies about people who were like at their tipping point and just like. I guess it is a scary movie. I mean, she kills. Spoiler alert: she kills a lot of people.
Spoiler.
But it's so good, and even the remake's really well done. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen the remake.
No,
it's
I have.
Very well
yeah,
done.
definitely.
So I definitely recommend both of those. Ghost movies. I literally just want to say every single movie from the same directors. Oh, Insidious is really good too.
Yes, Insidious. All of the Insidious. Amazing.
And also, did you watch Sinister? I don't know if that's technically like a ghost movie. It's kind of like, I don't know.
I don't know. I could see. You kind of could consider it, but not really.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to like really knock down what the ghost genre is.
Yeah, but no, I totally loved all 3 of The Exorcist, and I remember I think there was like Exorcist like the Beast. So there's 1, 2, and 3, and then there was like Exorcist the beginning. And I remember all of my cousins, I think there was like 4 of us, and your sister included, and we all decided to go to like the latest showing of Exorcist the beginning.
Yeah, no, I would never.
We went to the latest showing, and then there was nobody in the theater, so we sat in the first row, literally like underneath the giant screen, and we're all like super pumped. We got a popcorn and everything, and in the first like few seconds of the movie, like something happens, and we all literally just jumped, popcorn everywhere. Our hearts were just like pounding like crazy, but totally worth it. I know it's old now, but during the time it came out, it was popular.
Also, like, I hate jump scares, but definitely.
Well, you can't have a scare.
Yeah,
you can't have paranormal movies without a jump scare.
Exactly. I love a good jump scare, though, that I don't see coming.
I know.
I'm very hard to surprise with jump scares. I'm like, oh, it's gonna freaking happen. And I think that's why I love the Conjuring and Insidious movies so much. Because some of that stuff happens in the middle of the day. And that is just not right. I was not expecting that.
Yeah,
because, when the whole... Like, when the actual lighting of the movie is just, like, normal and day and fluorescence, and then you have something like coming out of a barn, that's not right.
You're like, yeah, I know, totally. Yeah, they do a very good job now with like special effects and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just makes it look so much more realistic. It's just amazing. I mean, even when they did The Exorcist, they didn't have pretty good graphics, but I mean,
well, have you heard of like
scared you good?
Yeah, like the cursed movie sets.
No,
like apparently Exorcist is a cursed movie set because bad things happen and like people. I'm not sure if they died on set or what the whole thing is. I have to look into it. There's like documentaries on it right now. Like,
seriously?
Like being made, yeah. Because there's a bunch of movies like that too, and it's just because they have really like spooky like starting points and stuff like that.
Oh my goodness.
So it's like, what's going on?
Yeah, no, I had not heard about that. I'm surprised they haven't made mention about.
Yeah, I'm struggling with this one lash. I'm gonna go on to the other lash because it is not listening. I do not like this lash glue though. I was telling you when we were starting this.
Yeah. I really like the Duo. Lash glue.
I definitely need to. I think I'm a little impatient with my lash glue sometimes, though. Let's be real.
Well, I don't know. It's got to do its job.
Exactly.
It's got to do its job.
Like, how long do I have to wait? And then, like, when you're struggling with the one,
then the other one too.
And you're just like, okay, well, that didn't work.
But also, I wanted to mention, if you guys are curious in anything that we're using today, like on our face, we're going to be listing it down in the description below.
But
we are going to finish our face really quickly here. And we will be right back. Well, that's all for today. I do hope you enjoyed our paranormal stories and my special guest today. Now stay tuned for more series on Ghosts and Glamour, and make sure you leave a comment and you like this video, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.